Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Let's go, Buffalo. All right, as many of you know, I've been making the pilgrimage up to Western New York the last couple of years to go to a Bills game, and I absolutely love it. These are my people. They like to eat a lot. They like to drink a lot. They like to party a lot, and football means everything. They like to sit outside in the snow and the freezing cold. Yeah, they got a retro vibe to their uniforms. And they love their Zubaz. So yeah, I was rooting for them against the Ravens, and I got three big takeaways on this game. Josh Allen's playoff legacy, the part about the Buffalo Bills that is wildly underrated, and the man who changed everything. Let's get to that in just a moment. But a reminder to subscribe to the channel. Right on. Click on this button below me, won't you? Because you know what? You can become one with the channel. And get notifications when we go live for Watch DA Live every single week. Why wouldn't you want to be part of this experience? Look, I got nothing against the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar has had a phenomenal season. He seems to be an awesome guy in the community. And they have Mo in their end zone lit up for my buddy Little Mo. So you know I got a lot of love for the Ravens. But here's the thing about the Buffalo Bills and how they won. A lot of people would look at Mark Andrews and the game from hell for him. Not only the fumble, but that dropped 2-point conversion to tie. But let's just also note this. If Andrews holds on to that 2-point conversion, that is not surefire overtime. There's a minute 33 to play. You're giving Josh Allen 2 timeouts, 90 seconds, and all he needs to do is get in a field goal range. I mean, remember, Patrick Mahomes did that with 13 seconds. You're giving him 90? Yeah, I'm not ready to say that Mark Andrews' drop was the difference of them going to OT and not. And I think that's why Sean McDermott kicking the field goal instead of going for it to go up 8 was the right move. Because even if the Ravens scored the touchdown, which they did, and got the 2-point conversion, you know you couldn't lose. You still had a chance with number 17 to go down the field and rip the Ravens' hearts out at the very end. Let's zoom in on Josh Allen and his playoff stats. He did not have his best game by far. In fact, statistically speaking, this is one of Josh Allen's worst playoff games, but it's one of the most important wins of his career. 2 rushing touchdowns on the game, no passing TDs, but that adds to his total all time. Listen to these numbers in the playoffs. Josh Allen has an elite postseason resume. In his 12 playoff games, he has thrown for 23 passing touchdowns against just 4 interceptions, 23-4. On the ground, he now has 7 rushing scores against just 2 fumbles lost. So all told, that's 30 touchdowns against 6 turnovers. He's thrown for more than 3,000 yards. He is 7-2 at home, and he's won a playoff game in each of the last 5 seasons. Josh Allen's 12-game sample size of the playoffs stacks up there with anybody ever who did not win a Super Bowl, and stacks up there with some who have. Yes, of course, he needs the ring to complete this whole thing and to finally deliver the city of Buffalo from its long nightmare. Allen this season has been cool and composed. He's been in control of the offense. He's been Superman when needed, but understood when he didn't need to be Superman. And I thought that this game against the Ravens was a day where he knew he did not have to do so. Another dub and another efficient win without a turnover in the playoffs for number 17. Where's those Josh Jacks? For the record, they taste exactly like Apple Jacks. Number 2, let's talk about the most underrated part of the Buffalo Bills team, and that is the defense's ability to turn the football over. That was the key in this game. There were 3 massive turnovers that completely altered the complexion of this game. Numero uno, the pass that sailed on Lamar Jackson, big interception, early snuffs out a drive. Then was the wild snap that Lamar does a great job corralling, but as he's trying to make a play, sticks that ball out, hits the turf, ball is loose, recovered by the Buffalo Bills. And then ultimately, the play that everybody will be talking about for a long, long time, Mark Andrews getting it punched out and recovered by the Bills secondary. An absolutely titanic, gargantuan play in this game. The Bills led the league in turnovers. Their defense created 24 of them. Note that is 8 more than the next highest total, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Behind them, the Packers, Chargers, and Vikings, who were tied for third with 12. That means the Buffalo Bills had twice as many turnovers as number 3 in the league. That's a huge disparity. This is not a fluke. This was not luck. This is what the Bills do, and people haven't given them enough credit for doing so. The numbers for the Ravens offense aren't bad. Lamar threw for 254 and 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry had 84 yards and a score. The Ravens ran for 176 yards. Ultimately, the turnovers did them in and cooked the Ravens nevermore. The most underrated part of the Bills season. And finally, the man who changed everything, Joe Brady. Yeah, of course, Josh Allen changed everything about the franchise. But Joe Brady's play calling was a breath of fresh air when he took over at the end of last season because he leaned on a legitimate ground game. Until that point in time, the Buffalo Bills offense had basically given the nod to the run, but really the ground game was Josh Allen's legs. This was not a recipe for a Super Bowl winner. You have to be able to take pressure off of the QB and make the defense spread out to defend a lot of different other pieces. And Joe Brady has done that. He helped develop a feature back in James Cook. Ray Davis has turned into a perfect complement to Cook. And Ty Johnson also adds a third back to the proceedings. On this night against the Baltimore Ravens, the Buffalo Bills ran the football 36 times for 147 yards and 3 scores. It was a cold, nasty night. You don't want to have to be throwing the football through the January air in Buffalo to win games. You want to be able to keep the opposing team's offense off the field, and that's what the Bills tried to do, keeping Lamar and Derrick Henry on the bench for as long as possible. Yes, sometimes it felt a little too conservative, but being able to run the football and committing to the run, not just, hey, Josh, run around and make something happen, has been such a key to the Buffalo Bills' success, and that is all through Joe Brady's vision. By the way, Joe Brady takes over the play calling duties last November. Since then, they've lost 1 home game in the playoffs to the Chiefs, divisional round by a field goal last year. They have not lost another game. They were a perfect 8-0 this season, and now 2-0 at home in the playoffs. Hey, Joe, we salute you with a piece of cracked frozen mud from the parking lot slamming through a folding table. Nicely done. The Kansas City Chiefs lost 1 game this season when their starters played. It was against the Buffalo Bills. Now, of course, that game was in Buffalo. This one will be at Arrowhead. But yeah, the Bills can win at Arrowhead. But as we all know, no one's going to believe it until they see it. We'll see if they're up for the next challenge coming up on Sunday night. But man, this one was a classic playoff game, and it went to the Buffalo Bills. Hey, Bills Mafia, crack a cold one. You earned it, and so did your football team. Hey, for more videos like this, make sure you are subscribed by clicking on this button right next to me. Make sure you are one with the channel because we're doing these after all playoff games here in January and February for the NFL postseason. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm DA, Damon Amendolara. We'll see you next time.